some type of doll or some type of action figure for boys, or any type of doll that we've used in our days. So I, for the past 2 weeks, have been researching Barbie and kind of the history behind it and how much she's actually changed. And so today we're just going to be talking about the history of Barbie, what people thought of Barbie, and how much she has changed over the years, just like we have changed over the years as well. So to begin, we're going to start with the creator. According to Barbie Media, which is Barbie's official website, Ruth Handler has been quoted to say, "Barbie is my daughter." So Ruth Handler is actually the person who invented Barbie to begin with, and she was very inspired by her daughter, which is this little girl right here, and her friend. And she has taken a lot of inspiration from her daughter, as you can see there. Okay, so Ruth Handler invented Barbie, and Barbie was presented at this toy shop kind of thing in March 1959. It's where like companies come see the inventions people have made to see if they want to buy the product or to actually sell it out to people. Again, she was inspired by her daughter and her friend when they were playing with these paper dolls. And they were acting like they were a lot of teenagers, like they had careers and they had jobs, and she was like, well, this seems like a good idea to have these girls be able to play with a type of doll that they can pretend like they're a lot older, like they have actual careers. So this was the first Barbie made. As you can see, it looks nothing like Barbie now. And that was the very first wardrobe that Barbie ever wore. Okay, so people's views on Barbie. Virginia Education has actually made a review on what people thought of Barbie in the 1950s, around there. Barbie's voice box, when it first came out, started saying things like "math is hard" and "I love shopping." And some people didn't like the fact that Barbie said that, just because they thought it was a little stereotypical, trying to see these little girls' mindset change to, yeah, math is hard, and just kind of start into the stereotypical girl. They thought Barbie was too scandalous, as you saw in the very first picture, how she just had a swimsuit on. Even though it was a one piece, people thought it was very scandalous to be sharing these with the little girls. And then they also didn't like her image as a white and unrealistic body type. So they basically thought that Barbie wasn't a good view for girls. Okay, so the big changes Barbie has actually made and has looked over the years is really, really, really big. From the Barbie Liberation Movement, which is a big changer in Barbie, basically thought that we need to change the way that Barbie's voice box is saying things. So they actually created surgery on Barbie, took out her voice box and put a new one in, saying things a lot different. Instead of "math is hard," they put "I love school" or things like that, just to make kids more motivated while playing with these types of dolls. Another thing, people who criticized her has brought Barbie very, very, very far over the years. Okay, so this is the doll in 1959. As you can see, while Barbie changing throughout the years, it also depends on the time period and what was in through that time. And these pictures are from the Barbie Evolution Center, which is another Barbie website where it was just showing over the years how much she has actually changed. This is in 1960. As you can see, it's already been a dramatic change, from the skin color to the color of her hair. This is later in the so you can see that they started adding a lot more makeup and changing the color of her hair and different types of wardrobes. Again, then she changes from a lot of makeup to almost none at all, and then again her hair style has changed a lot too. This is in 1975. They put back the makeup, as you can tell, and then the hair turns a lot more wavier and a lot more somewhat natural. And then 1980s. This is where the biggest change happened. along with her wardrobe, to the first actually African American or black doll. This was the very first biggest change, where it was kind of disco. You can see by also the change in color of the eyes. They turned her eyes green. And then they changed it back to blue, as we see in the original doll now. And then her wardrobe had changed dramatically with her hair. And then finally the first American or African American black doll came out. And as you can see, if you've noticed the wardrobe changes, you see that she's an astronaut, which is kind of showing that Barbie can do things like males. So they start changing things like Barbie can do what men can do. And so they change her and make her an astronaut. Then in the 1990s, we see that Barbie has changed again in her wardrobe. And then another black African American doll came out with her trying to see it realistic with her poofy hair and whatnot. And then the 2000s. This is what Barbie looks like now. As you can see, she looks like a very successful businesswoman, as they like to make it out to be. And then the first Hispanic doll came out in 2000 with her wardrobe and her dog and her hair. And then they start adding a little more career to it, like the first female president, for example, and to show these girls that you can do whatever you want to set your mind to. So giving them motivation to do these types of things. Again, here's original Barbie, and then again trying to motivate these girls, showing that if Barbie can graduate, you can graduate, basically. So trying to show these girls that you can do it. And then the first, I guess you could say princess kind of doll, where it shows like costuming and things from movies and all that. Okay, so then the number one big change that people had with Barbie was the body image. Barbie has come out finally here in the 2000s, different types of body image. And actually, as we were talking about this yesterday in class, we realized that just 2 days ago, Barbie came out with the thighs touch kind of Barbie. And so as you can see, we have petite, we have tall, we have thick, as you could say, and then we have just kind of a little slim and medium-sized doll. So that was the number one controversial that they have changed, along with skin color. Okay, so overall, I talked to you about how basically Barbie has changed with us throughout the years. The history of Barbie and how Ruth Handler actually started this. Then we went over how we have progressed and how people's change and how people's view of Barbie has actually helped her in ways and has changed her a lot dramatically throughout the years. And so with that, I hope you are all now informed about Barbie and how the actual step-by-step went with her dramatic change from back in the 1950s to 2000 now.